Well, it felt different working on this because it was an American from the 50s and also an American from a very privileged background. So, in a funny way, I had to look closer to home as much as I had to look at American culture of the 50s and get an accent right. I had to look closer to home at just that physicality, that kind of psychological approach to life of doing exactly as you want, doing exactly what you want to do, and accepting and presuming that others are doing the same thing. I mean, that's as British as it is American. It's just to do, I think, with status. So attaining that was quite hard. But playing an American, for me, I had to put on a bit of weight, which I've lost again now, because they play much more physical sports at school, and I worked with a fantastic voice coach who made it an easier job than it could have been, and read some really fantastic books. So I mean, I again, one can't assume that could necessarily be enough, but it's perhaps enough to make a step towards filling out a part. I love the writing. Anthony's a very special writer, because you perhaps on first reading think, there's almost nothing there. It's like, hang on, what about what he should have said? What about what he wanted to say, or what should have been said in that scene? But of course, those are the things that you never say in life, and those are the things that are very often included in films, which I think can paint storylines or emotions in films too thickly and make you, the audience, feel like, oh, come on, we're not dumb, we know that. With Anthony, it's so true to the person and the situation that if you often watch a scene and it's like people are skirting around each other like this, and what needs to be said or what wants to be said is sort of floating in the room around them. And so in the playing of it, suddenly all these dynamics kind of entered into the story and into the dynamics of the scene, which were almost beyond our control. And for that, I'd say he's quite brilliant, and for an actor, it was a thrill to perform them, because, as I say, you were concentrating on one level, but meanwhile there was almost like a separate entity that was operating for you on another level. I suppose the subject matter, the type of people we were playing. I mean, Tom is perhaps, in moments desiring this other character, and Dickie is a very sensual individual anyway, because he's kind of living his life through his pores, But I have to admit, I think a lot of it comes down, first of all, obviously, to the piece, the essence of the piece, which Anthony is responsible for in the script, but also Italy. I mean, Italy is an incredibly sensual country, and you can taste it in the air. I remember saying to Anthony on the way into work, it suddenly struck me. I stopped in the traffic and was watching some school children waiting for a school bus. Now that happens all around the world, but then they were stopped. They were stood under this incredible sort of statue of two lovers embraced, an embrace with sort of cloth just sort of drooped over them. And you sort of think, if that's what you're seeing day in and day out, then there's got to be a kind of sensuality to your very existence and to your makeup, if you like. And so that it's no surprise that the story is set in Italy. I think Italy adds that sensuality and also that sense of culture. They're some of my favourite filmmakers. I'm just thrilled that I'm in something that looks as beautiful as this. You can always hope to be in something that works, that tells the story that you want, that you hope it was when you first read it, or you hope it is what you wanted it to be, but to also be in something that attains that kind of epic quality is a real thrill. And no, I agree. I mean, it also has a quality of period to it, which is quite extraordinary. I don't quite know how they did that. It's like almost Technicolor, which is glorious, and you don't see that much nowadays either.